be a public-private partnership that will be made with sports commissioners of all states, sports federations, and the sports ambassadors for their inputs on how to achieve sports development in the country, both in taking initiative to fund sport. Oh, wow, nice.
I like the way he's thinking. See, this thought that he's thinking is very, very next level. America wonder, yeah, public-private partnership.
Yes.
How are they going to do this thing? I don't want to be too doubtful.
Optimistic.
I look, I like what happens. This is what usually happens when new ministers come into the place. Every minister has gone on this stadium tour. Every single one.
Maybe
since
you
that,
see something different.
since I remember the war. Every single one. They will get there. They will say that we can make it beautiful. This infrastructure, we can do it. And then 6 months down the line, everybody would have moved on.
It's easier said than done, right?
This is what happens. And I like the fact that he's saying public-private partnership. And that makes sense. And maybe he does have the clout to bring it in. But the problem is not just renovating the stadiums. You have to, these places have to start getting revenue for them to be of any relevance. And that's where the problem is. If you can't create revenue for these different stadia and these different states, it will be hard for you to sell it to anybody who has investments. Think about it. The New York Yankees, I don't want to call the names of all the stadiums because they have not paid us money. So even if they're in America, they have not paid us money for ads. But the New York Yankees Stadium, the place that Lakers and Clippers used to play, all those places, nothing like. Think about it, there's always an event there, whether it's a music event, whether it's a consistent sporting event. I tell you, the LA Kings, LA Clippers, they all use the same building. So game after game after game, they're changing from ice hockey to basketball in a few hours. So the events going there, those places are creating revenue. And so it's easy for those places to be maintained, those places to, for people to invest in those places. You come to Nigeria, and most in general, those places is either a church program which will kill the grass or the Super Eagles. And the Super Eagles have only so few games to play. It's not like they are a league that they play every weekend. So it's how do we the first question most ministers should ask themselves before they start making all these promises are like castles in the air, literally. They need to start thinking, how do we make sports a revenue-based industry? Let's build the industry first, because the sports industry is not yet an industry. We are just calling it industry because there's no other word. You have to build the industry there. How do we create revenue first? And then we can now say, okay, you come and invest in infrastructure, and you invest in talent, and you invest in technical this. But you come there and say, I'm going to renovate stadium. You renovate stadium, snake will move in again. It's just that simple. Let's just leave this matter for Matthias.
All right, looking at the African Games, the Tega, Nigeria's Raymond Ekevwo is Africa's fastest man. Wow. So yes, this Nigerian men's sprint is taking an upswing again, as Raymond Ekevwo yesterday won the 100 meters gold of the Africa Games ongoing in Rabat, Morocco. He posted 9.96 seconds, a personal best to win the race, which did not feature top African sprints from Cote d'Ivoire and South Africa. However, with that performance, he was a candidate for gold.
Okay, here it is. So he ran sub 10. Congratulations. And that's good news.
Okay.
First of all, he ran sub 10. How the sub 10 came in? Whether it's sub of 0.1, but he ran sub 10. So
did you just plug in?
I don't understand what's going on with you.
But he ran. It's a good result. Yeah. The fact that there were the athletes from the top athletes from South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire were not there, really right now is of no consequence, because especially when it comes to the 100 meters where everybody is looking for who is the next best thing, the question would be, on the day, what did you do? On this day, he ran top 10. He's not the fastest Nigerian. Divine Oduduru so far set that record with 9.86 seconds, but he didn't come because, well, he's protesting treatment of athletes and all. That's one. On the other hand, you're seeing better life, so
He's
why
in
come
the
back?
America.
You're seeing they're treating him like a king now. Why should he come back to where they're treating him anyhow? But what it is that Nigeria, because Nigeria came first and then came third, and you're seeing again, you're seeing this talent. The question is, from the Africa Games, how do we prepare all up to 2020 Olympics next year? How do we retain this talent? How do we grow it? On the women's side, it was Joy Udo Gabriel, and she came fourth. I don't know what to say how to put this that would be polite, but she doesn't seem to be improving, in my opinion. It's like she seems to be walking, she seems to be at one point
Stagnant.
just stagnant. And so and women were running, I think the fastest person was Maria Jose Talo, and she was 11.06 seconds, which means that if we went to the Olympics right now with the record times that Africans have, the fastest African will be fourth or fifth.
Wow. That doesn't sound any good.
Yeah, the Americans, the Jamaicans, they're all running sub 11. You're running 11.06 at 100 meter sprint. They're running to the gold.
Exactly.
So she's running 11.06 seconds, and Joy Odo Gabriel is finishing fourth, which means no hope. We have to pray for Blessing's leg again. In case if you are looking for a medal in the sprint, you have to pray that Blessing is in good form, she's in good frame of mind, and hopefully she can make a final at the Olympics. So it doesn't. This is what I'm talking about: having regular and consistent mates, and then developing the talents
takes
you
us
have.
all the way back to building
You're
the
now
industry.
building a stadium. Building
We're
stadium.
back there.
Building stadium for grass.
Please send in messages through WhatsApp. Remember that number, 0809 444 981. Josh sent in a message here on WhatsApp. Josh, I'm trying to get to your message now. But before that comes up, okay, Josh says, so talking about getting some revenues for our stadium, you said religious bodies will kill the grass. Why not charge them a little bit more and fix the grass, or use other types of grass? They have the money. Let's collect it from them.
Well, see, grass grows at a certain pace. So what are you, even if you planted the physical money into the ground, the grass will still grow how it's supposed to grow. So
And then when you have constant activity on
Yeah,
the grass,
on
and
the
you have a
grass.
mass number of people on that grass, no matter how much you charge, you're going to damage, that.
just look
place
at,
anyway.
let's not talk too much. Look at Wimbledon now. Look at it 5 years ago.
Thank you.
Let's
Yeah.
not talk too
Rafael
much.
Nadal launched his tilts at the fourth US Open title on Tuesday with a swift defeat of John Millman 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Now two-time French Open runner-up Thiem was upset by Italian giant killer Thomas Fabiano 6-4, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2 as the Austrian slumped to another first-round exit, having lost at the same stage at Wimbledon. Now, Greek 8th seed Tsitsipas struggled with cramps and accused umpires of having preferences after he fell to a 6-4, 6-7, 5-7, 7-6, 9-7, 7-5 defeat by next-gen rival Andrei Rublev in a grueling 4-hour slog. Why is he blaming the umpire?
Okay, so he's not big enough for that fight. That's the first thing I will tell
He
him.
said this chair umpire, I don't know. He has something against me. I don't know why. Why?
Okay, so the umpire gave him a code violation, and he was wasting time. I don't know if he was part of the drama with his cramps, because he claimed he was having cramps. So when it was time to sprint across court, he was always there.
The cramp
I was like, what? This cramp, how does it work? Is it intermittent?
selective.
Because when he's about to serve, you see him shaking his legs, and his leg walk kind of went. So at some point, I was believing it, because usually there's a way players stand. There's a particular way each player stands to take his serve. And after a while, he stopped doing that. And of course, he kept trying to stretch a leg. He was not in position. But 1 minute you're looking at him and saying, this guy's leg is really killing him. The next minute you're wondering,
He can sprint.
if you are cramping, how did you sprint across the court so quickly? But because of that, the time in between, and there was the clock was there counting down. So it's not like the umpire manufactured the time from his head. The clock was there counting down 24 seconds, and he was up, and he had to get the warning. But that's what happens when a player that came into a tournament with so much promise and so much high hopes gets knocked out in the first round. There's going to be one excuse: oh, I'm so tired. Like Dominic Thiem said, that he's so fatigued. You've been resting the past 2 weeks. I don't understand what's fatiguing you again. This is not about. Do you understand? What's this question that? What's this excuses that people keep giving? You wouldn't hear this from a Djokovic. You wouldn't hear this from a Nadal. You wouldn't hear this from a Federer. Perhaps this is why those old guys are still winning. I mean, you have to manage your body, your time. You have to understand your tournaments, especially as you're in this stage of your career. They are no longer next gen. They have reached the time. And the older guys are still winning. So no excuses. It's poor discipline, if you ask me. For Tsitsipas, he was soundly beaten by a guy in form. Andrei Rublev especially played all the way to the finals in the Cincinnati Masters. Of course, he was beaten by another guy in form, Medvedev. But so Tsitsipas was soundly beaten. He put up a brave fight. That's why it was 4 hours for a 4-set match.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 hours. so he spent some time in court. It wasn't an easy defeat, but he did make a few errors and some questionable defense. And then you look at Rublev. Rublev was top form, tried to keep it clean as much as he could, especially in his own service games, and then he tried to attack Tsitsipas on Tsitsipas' own service games, which is how he won. So for Tsitsipas, he was soundly beaten, but for someone like Dominic Thiem, unforgivable. Don't come and tell me you're fatigued. If you're tired, don't even just withdraw from the tournament and say you need time to recuperate or something, or you manage. I'm wondering what he was doing in the past 2 weeks that he was so fatigued that he lost in the first round.
2 weeks or the night before?
Okay, sorry.
Right.
You're right.
Actually, we have to go on a break. You're listening to The Locker Room. Keep your messages coming in through WhatsApp to 0809 444 0981.
Hola!
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is
Yeah, this Gauff.
Look,
I am so sleepy. Oh, don't worry, I'm not Dominic Thiem. I came to the studio.
Any restrictions?
He's telling me he's fatigued. So
careful though, this chair.
what should we do? People pay me. If I just fall like this, bah!
I'll just excuse me.
Hello.
You don't have.
I will sue.
You don't have injury insurance.
I will sue for emotional heartbreak.
Injury insurance.
I'll be back. Yeah, that's quick.
All right, and we're back in the locker room with Tega and Fola
and Valentine. The messages come to WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. The Locker Room is brought to you by 9 Mobile. Next story.
All right, so Gauff wins Open debut. Stevens suffers upset. Of course, her parents jumping out of the front row seats over and over again, and a partisan crowd backing her at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Corey Gauff trailed by a set and a break, then again by a break in the third set before coming up big down the stretch to get past Anastasia Potapova of Russia 3-6, 6-2, 6-4 in her debut at Flushing Meadows.
Okay, so Corey Gauff is keeping the fire going. This 15-year-old who took the world by storm is back again, and this time on home soil. That's why you see the crowd keep cheering her on and fueling her to go. But she's back. First of all, she has fight in her. For a 15-year-old, I don't know where she gets that kind of aggression from. I don't understand. She probably needs therapy, or maybe they need therapy. But she has. I don't know where she gets from. There's this. She's so quiet on the outside, so calm on the outside, but there is a storm on the inside. It's like the minute she goes down in a set, she plays normal until she's down a set,
and then she becomes,
or she's down a break,
aggressive.
and then you see one monster. You cannot even control it. so I love the way she keeps the fire burning, tournament after tournament. But even she said it was such a blur. She didn't know where the energy, where anything came out from. She just knew that she just had to fight and try not to go home, and that's how she was able to cause this upset. But already she was a sensation from the minute she came down from the car. The cameras followed her to show us, this is our future that we're looking
Yeah.
at.
Get it fixed now before-
Exactly, before anything happens. So fantastic one for her there. But on the side of Sloane Stephens, really tricky. She reunited with her coach that was the guy that helped her to win the 2017 US Open. You think, okay, now that she has a coach back, there'd be some familiarity, and maybe she'll be able to push deep into this tournament, especially as it's on home soil too. But it wasn't so for her. She was a bit inconsistent, and I think that's where it was. One minute she's playing really great tennis, and next minute it's really poor tennis, and so that inconsistency over time. I think she had 33 unforced errors in this game. Her opponent didn't even have 20. So you can imagine it's not that her game. She tried to play aggressive tennis. She tried to vary her shots, but just a lot going. There was too much drama, a lot of it going wrong. But she's out of the tournament now. Looking forward to maybe next year to see how she can build and push. Then maybe see how she can go further and maybe win another Grand Slam. But she did not brew any confidence in me. Same thing with Naomi Osaka, very questionable. She eventually did win her match, but it wasn't a confident start. And I think there's something again wrong with her movement. I saw her knee really heavily strapped. I don't know if there is a knee problem. She didn't say there was an injury, but she looked like she was struggling with her movement. So let's see how the tournament goes for them. But on the other hand, Serena Williams beat the living Jesus into Sharapova.
That was a delight.
It wasn't nice.
You needed to see the comment.
Did you see the T-shirt her husband was
wearing? It's like every time they say Sharapova, because of the narrative that is involved. And even when the media reported it, Serena wins defeats Sharapova for 19th straight time. But if you see Nadal plays yesterday and he completely destroyed his opponent the same way Serena destroyed Sharapova. The headline says Nadal rampant, Nadal strolls. But with Sharapova, they are still being polite to her. Serena beat her one more time for good measure. Make it 20th straight
that
loss.
T-shirt
I
read drugs are expensive.
To be honest, yes, we celebrate Serena, but I feel like they were trolling Sharapova.
No, but they're protecting her. I'm sorry, even with Maldonado, she couldn't beat Serena. It's that she wants to beat her.
Did you not see this shirt inscription? Drugs are expensive.
Very beat her like she stole something, because she did.
Yeah. All right. So the next story, Romelu Lukaku
is already shown that he was worth 65 million euros. Yay! Inter boss Antonio Conte said after the strikers' debut goal in their 4-0 win over Les. Now he says, let's not forget that Lukaku cost 65 million euros to be paid over 5 years. So when people talk about big money spent, it wasn't even that much. Tonight he showed why we tried so hard to sign him. Lukaku entered the world of Inter in the best humility, he said. He's a gentle giant, a giant with a smile. He's ready to work for the team, but not only Lukaku. There's Lautaro or Martinez. He also played very well.
Okay, and so for this story again, I'm going to rope in. You're going to be hearing this intermittently. Yes. I'm going to rope in my shadow for the past 1 week.
And I like the inscription on our shirt. Team forward. Nice. What do you make of
Romelu? Take it.
Coach?
Yeah, I think for Antonio Conte coming out to say this is a very good one. Maybe it's like eating back on Romelu Lukaku former team.
Yes.
Like, okay, he's a good player. We bought him for 60 million and he's coming out to score on his debut. It's a very, very good one for him. And this is the 4th time Romelu Lukaku will score on his debut. He did that with West Brom. He did that with Everton and with Manchester United. Now
so Inter Milan.
So it's not new. But I like the way the coach come in and like, okay, you guys, you didn't treat him well. He didn't. Although when he was at Manchester United, before he went to Manchester United rather, the coach wanted him and finally he got him and he's proving his worth. So he has come out to hit him with praise. Like, I bought him much. You might say it's costly, but he's doing the job he was bought for. So a good one for him.
Like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, it doesn't change the fact that he's my guy.
Yeah, I've been chasing him since England. and I
What?
got him now in Italy. So
Okay.
We have messages to go
All right,
through.
let's go through some of
WhatsApp.
our WhatsApp messages
Mm.
and see what the guys are saying. So, MI from Akoka says that Serena was doing the Lord's work of keeping the US Open clean by trashing Sharapova in straight sets. 3 things are certain in this world: taxes, death, and a Serena win over Maria. The shade her husband threw, though, by wearing that anti-drug shirt, that was dope.
Thank you, man. Nonso says, come on, Nonso. Thank you very much. She's playing, take it easy on her. Tony from Coca says, what a nice bargain by Inter on Lukaku. 65 million to be paid within 5 years. I think that was nice too.
Yeah.
Cruz says, in my opinion, our sports minister and administrators need to go and learn work. People who have for decades shown how to produce functional and income generating facilities. Tega, because what happened to Sharapova? She looked like she was going to cry during the match.
You know.
So dancing Tega still looked cold though. Biko, get her a cup of coffee.
tell them,
Cup of
oh,
whatever she wants. That
cut of whatever I want. Please, please.
All right, messages come to WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. More stories.
Okay.
All right.
Inter Milan and Manchester United agree on loan deal. So Inter Milan have agreed to a deal with Manchester United to sign Alexis Sanchez on loan. And the 10-month deal will cost Manchester United £6 million, and Inter have not agreed an option to buy Sanchez at the end of the season.
Okay, so Manchester United is just offloading to Inter.
Well,
Take all our goal scorers, get some goals, and we'll manage ourselves. But yes, Sanchez leaving is a tricky one. I'd say this: it is hard for me to see how Manchester United will manage at least till January, when the market is open again, for them to start getting in players. Because I think with the market closed, and even if you didn't want a player like Sanchez, or a player like Sanchez is not happy, you look at your options. What else do we have? And then you can try to talk to his man management. If this were Jose Mourinho, they'll bring out all the history of how he fought with half his players, how he doesn't know how to manage. But because he's their darling babyface assassin, they're not talking about it. But ideally, what he should have done, especially with the window closed, was, Sanchez, you know what, let's give it another try, at least till January. If you're still unhappy, then you can go out on loan. Even if you don't really want him, you have to know how to
make it look
good. So that,
good.
because your options are not, it's very limited. It's Rashford or Martial, and if anyone picks up an injury, then what is the hope for the righteous? So you giving and Inter Milan also want to try him out. Sanchez has played in Italy. He's excelled in Italy. In fact, it was because he excelled in Italy that teams like Barcelona now bought him, and then Arsenal took over, and now Manchester United. So he thinks he's just going back to a place of familiarity and comfort, and then maybe he'll be able to get his football back on track. But if the coach were like, you know what, even if nothing else, for selfish reasons, because I don't have too many options up front, let me just manage to keep this guy. He didn't do that. So it's going to be really tough for Manchester United. But that's their kettle of fish. They're all being paid. We'll sort it out eventually.
Okay, let's take a few more messages. Remember that number, WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. VO says, or what? He did deny Victor. So have a Valentine. That's broken now. Please don't give it away like that. Continue the great one, guys. Thank you, Victor from Otta. Tony from Ogba sent in this one.
United offloading their flops, which happens to be Inter next line of stars. Wow. United fans should watch a different Lukaku and Sanchez next season.
And MI comes back to say, Man United and Milan are doing inter-house sports. Are doing
Continue.
Sanchez, once again, once upon a great player. Wow. Lukman says, Lukaku did not show anything special. He scored from a rebound, which he always likes to do. They'll still complain about his first touch. Sharapova is my favorite any day.
The fact that Sharapova is your favorite already tells us why you will not like your tweet.
Barcelona have apologized for mocking Real Betis following a 5-2 win over their La Liga rivals on Sunday. Following the victory at the Nou Camp, Barcelona tweeted a photo of defender Junior Firpo holding up 5 fingers with the caption, "Junior knows." The club tweeted, "Barcelona wish to sincerely apologize for any offense caused to Real Betis. No disrespect was intended, but we were wrong to publish it on a night that was very special for Junior."
It's a lie. Disrespect was intended. Okay, so you bought a player from Betis. and then you beat the team, and then you beat Betis 5-2, and the next thing you can do is post Junior knows, which and literally it simply means that Junior knew that your ship was sinking, and he moved to the winning side. It was a shade anyhow, and it was intentional. It's not like the person tweeted in his sleep or bot typed it because his phone was in his pocket. It was deliberate. You meant it. People have just told you that it was classless and tasteless. So now you're trying to look good. I've said it before. Look, if you are going to do something, do it with your chest. You know, and for Barcelona to be shading a team like Real Betis, they're not mates now. As in, there's no. If you're shading Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, I can forgive you.
You have to be careful when you're shading those kind of people, because tomorrow knows.
No worry, exactly. Tomorrow knows. Don't worry. That's what you're going to see soon. So yeah, do apologize. Just do it with your chest. Be bold when you're making all these kind of statements. It's just off. But on the other hand, speaking about Barcelona, they look like they seem to be getting a little closer to getting Neymar back. There's news coming out from the meeting between PSG and Barcelona that they want certain players and money. One of the players they may not be in a struggle to let go of, but the second one, it would be very hard for them to give away the player, especially because of the limited resources in replacement that they have for that particular position. But the negotiations are still going on. There's an option to loan first and then buy later. There's an option to buy outright and exchange players. But what it is that when clubs started coming at PSG, Neymar categorically told the technical director, I want to go back to Barcelona. So I hear that some other people want to give you money, and they probably have the money to give you. I'd like to go back to Barcelona. So that's where he wants to go to. If you ask me, if I were the technical director, I would tell him, can you pay the balance? Because if you want to...
They can't afford you.
Exactly. Because if you want to go, this is the value we've placed on our, our talent. And if you can't afford me, you pay the balance.
That's right. Let's take this last message from Ayo. It says, this girl is like the choo-choo train that could always come back to a good one for her.
Yeah, indeed.
Nice. We'll come to the end of the sports show today. This Locker Room 981 is brought to you by 9 Mobile.
All right, and we'll be right back at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, for Lagos Talks 981. Stay with us.
98.
Okay, people. It was nice doing business with you.